A lot more people are making income in non-conventional ways, and that income is taxed. And so they have to claim it, but one of the benefits of being self-employed and making income as a contractor is that you can write off your legitimate expenses against that income. So if you're a content creator, so if you say subscribe to graphics design software, editing software, anything that you're only purchasing because you need it to make the content that you are earning money from, or getting commissions off of or whatever, ask yourself the question about the expense. Like, if it wasn't for my business, would I need to buy this? And if the answer is no, you can write off the whole amount as a general rule. It has to be reasonable, of course, but that's kind of how you would approach that. Other expenses that are a little more gray area would be something like your cell phone. So you're making content on your cell phone, so there is, part of the expense should be written off, but at the same time, you also use your cell phone for personal use as well. So for me, for example, I have one cell phone, and I about half the time am doing stuff for work, half the time doing stuff for personal. So I write off half of my cell phone. Just editing this video, need to quickly clarify, I'm not writing my cell phone off against content creation income because I'm Canadian and I'm not monetized in any way. I don't make money off of content creation. I am a practicing CPA with a CPA firm. And when I talk about writing off my cell phone, it is doing accounting stuff. That's what I mean. But the same can be applied for content creators. There are other things like that too. So any expense that you also have a personal benefit, you have to kind of assess how much of it is personal, how much of it's for business, and then you can write off the portion that's related to your business. So if you're a sole proprietor, you would write off those expenses on your T1 return. If you have a corporation, you kind of go through those same criteria when you're determining what can be written off, and you have to look at the personal benefit side of things. For instance, I own my house and I have a room in my house that's my office, that's for my business. If I didn't have this home to work out of, I would have to rent space somewhere. So I looked at what the market value for a one-room rental in my area was, and my corporation pays me rent, my family rent every month in that amount for the rental space, because rent is a legitimate deduction for a corporation, for an accounting firm. For homeowners, I like the idea of just renting a room rather than writing off a portion of my home, because if you're paying a mortgage, you can't write off the mortgage payments or a portion of the mortgage payments. It's only the interest on the mortgage, because technically when you're paying your mortgage, the equity portion of that payment is going right into your own equity. So you rent where you are, to do square foot to determine how much of the space you're using to generate income and how much of the space you use to just live your life. And you can write off a portion of your rent. A lot of the time, the CRA does not allow personal upkeep of your hair, nails, all that. People want to, I need to look good in my video, so I'm going to do my hair, and I need to go and get extensions and write that off. And that's very seldomly allowed. Certain travel expenses, it depends on what, situational, obviously. Meals and entertainment, if you are meeting with clients, you can write off meals, but it has to be with a client. You can't just be at home and order food and write that off. You still need food to live even if you're not working. So that's how you have to frame these discussions. And these every situation is different. What is a write-off for one business or one creator might not be for another. So you have to just keep really good records. That's kind of the key here, and make sure that you are putting that thought into it. Make sure that you have a separate account for your business so that it's easier to keep business and personal separate. That's just good practice. Definitely put your questions in the comments, and I'd love to dig into this more because it's a very common topic. Let me know, what do you want to write off? And if you're Canadian and you want me to help you with this, reach out.